everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Night Sky this week. This is for October 12th today. Happy Thanksgiving to all my fellow Canadians out there watching. Happy Columbus Day for those in the U.S., I believe, all my U.S. stargazing friends. And a big hello to everyone around the world, wherever you're watching. I've got the chat right here open, and I see everyone around the world from Bulgaria, Minnesota, Scotland, Alberta. Great to see you. Hi from Canada, eh? Hey, Ron. Nice to see you here, too. I hope you had a great weekend. It's a long weekend for some of us here in North America, I guess. Had my fill of turkey. I don't know about you. Had to go out for a little walk and walk that off. All that good food. Can't complain, though. It's awesome. Beautiful, clear skies here in Montreal, Canada, where I'm broadcasting from with you today. Just beautiful. I had the clear skies last night. Quite chilly. Heading into mid-October, this is quite chilly weather, getting close to the freezing mark in the evenings now. Frost warnings in many places across Canada, and I think in the Northern Hemisphere. And then we're closing in, of course, on winter season in the Northern Hemisphere. Summer around the corner for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere. Did you guys do any sky watching last night over the weekend? I sure did. Got some nice little sky watching. I'll share with you one of the little challenges I put out to my kids this weekend. See if you can spot something in the sky that I'll cover today. So we're here. Big sky watching news, of course, is Mars. Mars is finally at opposition. You see my Mars friend right here, of course, celebrating Mars opposition. Basically, the best time to see the red planet in our night skies. This is something that if you haven't availed yourself to, don't wait. Now is the time to actually go out and see it. But before I get into there, I just wanted to give some interesting little tidbits of things that are visible in the sky now. Let me see if I can swap. Let's see if I can show this. I don't even know if I can. Looks like I'm having a problem here on showing it. What happened this past weekend, one of NASA's sky cameras actually picked up a very interesting view. Let me see if I can. That's not the view I'm looking for. Let me see here. There we go. So what they picked up here is a fireball. So the Orionid meteor shower is going to be peaking on October 20th. So we're still about a week away before this peak of this minor meteor shower. It's not a major one, but a minor one. And what's really neat about this particular meteor shower is that it's known for fireballs. And sure enough, NASA picked up on one of its all-sky cameras a really beautiful fireball this past weekend. So this is really what's really neat is that these are basically bits and pieces of these little sand grain sized particles, and some are maybe the size of baseballs or basketballs, are really bits and pieces of Halley's Comet. You've probably heard of Halley's Comet. It's one of the most famous of all comets out there. And remember, comets are basically giant dirty snowballs. And so when they come close to the sun, they begin melting and they form these very iconic tails. All that material that's being shed off the head of a comet forms the iconic tail. But all that stuff eventually that goes in the tail, is lit up, gets deposited in space. And that's what Earth slams into during meteor showers. And that's what happens in the Orionid meteor shower that's peaking on October 20th. But it's already underway. If you see some meteors streaking across the skies in the heavens above on any night over this week or this past weekend, it's probably been associated with the Orionid meteor shower. And sure enough, there is a meteor, a very unusually bright meteor that was picked up by one of NASA's cameras in Florida. So an all-sky camera actually was picked up by NASA's camera, showed one of these basically these amazing fireballs, which is really, really cool. So that's basically something you should be on your radar, is looking for Orionid meteor showers. So I'm looking right here. I'm actually having a technical problem still. That's why I actually started late today. It seems like I'm unable to share my screen for some reason. Let me see if I can. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we can. Let me see if I can. Maybe I spoke too soon. Let's see if we can go there. So there is my friends at spaceweather.com. Here they are. Check them out. I'll put a link in the comment section below. But there is the fireball picture that I was just talking to you about. So this was shot from one of NASA's all-sky scan. And if you see right here, I have my mouse moving over. That streak was captured on the 11th. So that's Sunday. This Sunday, it was in the early morning at 6:56 in the morning. This is what was captured. You can see very clearly the meteor right there streaking. So this is something that you might be able to see as well. Something very cool. Also of note, auroras. Check this aurora out. Aurora without a solar storm is a headline on spaceweather.com. There was no solar flare, no CME coronal mass ejection, but this is what can happen even if there's something unexpected. So this was captured in Norway. Of course, Scandinavian countries, northern latitude, the most northern Arctic latitude regions see a lot more auroras in the fall season. So some really beautiful pictures coming in from our friends at spaceweather.com. So do check that out for yourself. So very, very cool stuff. You know, basically the big news obviously is looking at Mars. And I wanted to share some really cool little tidbits that were prepared by my friends at astroshop.eu in Europe, an astronomy store. Really beautiful. Let me see here if I can get to it. Let me see if I can get this graphic up for you guys. Let me see. Current application. There we go. Maybe they can show what is there. Let me see. Just bear with me. There we go. So check this out. So this is Mars Opposition 2020. And again, this is from my friends at astroshop.eu, astronomy store in Europe. October 14th European time is October 13th here in North America, where I'm broadcasting from, is officially the opposition. It happens just after 7 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, basically the 13th, or Wednesday, early Wednesday morning, Universal Central Time. So this is the setup of what's happening during opposition. I just wanted to share, it's really good. Graphics speak a lot more than words. You can see where the sun is, that's where Earth is, that's where Mars is. And opposition happens every 780 days when Mars, the Earth, and the sun are in a straight alignment. And you can see that this is why in opposition, basically the Mars is opposite in the sky to where the sun is. So as the sun sets in the west, you see Mars rising in the east, and Mars will dominate the overnight southern skies and set in the west just as the sun rises in the east in the morning. So basically you have the red planet dominating the overnight period, the entire night. And the later you watch it, closer to around local midnight or such, Mars will be higher in the sky and make it an easier target to view through telescopes, so backyard telescopes. So that's a situation there. Now, in terms of why all the commotion, what does this mean that when you have Mars close like this to Earth? You can see in this graphic right here, you can see that this is the size of what Mars looks like through a small backyard telescope. So check this out. You can see the size in different years. So the best visibility is now for the next 15 years. So until the year 2035, we won't see Mars as big as we see it right now. So you can see, in fact, it'll be even bigger in 2035. But look at all the years to 2020, the year 2022, 2025, 2027. So these are all the different years of opposition where we have Earth and the Mars align. But as you can see, not every opposition is created equally. Some oppositions are better than others. So in about every 15 or 17 years, we get a better view of Mars, the best views of Mars that we can. The distance that separates Earth and Mars is really at its minimum every 15 years or so. So right now in 2020, this is what it would look like. But if you wait until 2027, you can see that, look, this opposition is nowhere near as favorable for skywatchers as it is now. This is why there's excitement, because you get to see the planet disk as big as it can get through a small backyard telescope. So Mars is very high above the haze and air turbulence at the horizon, the best conditions to make out details on the surface. So what this is basically saying is, what also is really favorable right now is that Mars does ride very high in the sky during these next few days. This past few weeks into the next week, in fact, is really the best time to see it, because Mars rides very high into the sky late at night. Why is that good? Because the higher that Mars gets in our skies, the higher that you get to see Mars, as you can see in this graphic right here, the better. It means that you look through less of Earth's atmosphere. And there's a lot of particulate matter in Earth's atmosphere. There's a lot of dust, pollen, smoke, all kinds of things that can really blur your view of Mars. So when it gets higher up in the sky, there's less of the atmosphere that can blur your views of the red planet through a small telescope. It makes a huge difference. So right now, it means that if you want to watch Mars, the best views that you'll get wherever you are will be when Mars is at its highest point in your local sky. And that happens later at night. So not after dark, just after darkness falls, but later at night when Mars gets higher and higher in your local sky. So then, of course, we come to, what can you see on the planet Mars? And I think this graphic really is really cool, because it shows you some of the things that you can see on the planet itself. So there are major features that you can see. One of my most favorite are looking at, say, the polar cap. Believe it or not, you can actually see the south polar cap of Mars. And this is really cool, because you can see in this graphic, you're using somewhere around 120 to 250 times magnification on your telescope. And this is something where you use a higher powered eyepiece. You change out the eyepiece in your telescope, you can see a lot more detail. So I know some of you don't have telescopes, but those of you that do, this is very important in terms of planet watching. If you're kind of a newbie at it and you have never really done it before, other than maybe looking at the moon with your backyard telescope, the trick with Mars is you want to pump up that magnification to a higher level. The sweet spot really with Mars is generally around 120 to 250 times magnification. You'll find that out by using your different eyepieces and being able to pump up that magnification so you begin to see detail, and be patient. This looking for details on the surface of Mars. Mars is going to appear small even under high magnification, but the details are there. So as it shows in this graphic, the south polar cap is really this icy carbon dioxide ice field that's right in the south pole of Mars, and that's visible as a little white speck on the bottom of the disk of Mars. So we've got some really, I'm looking at the chats here while I'm talking here. We're seeing some people are really excited about being able to view it through Mars, and mentioning Barlow. Yes, Barlow. Natasha is asking, is Barlow good? Definitely. Barlows are basically multipliers of magnification. It's a really good added thing in your tool bag with telescopes. It doubles the magnification of any eyepiece. So definitely using a Barlow is great. Using a 5mm eyepiece, which is really a high magnification eyepiece. And those of you that are new, the numbers on your eyepiece, basically the smaller the number, the higher the magnification you get. Now, a 5 is pretty much really high magnification. I wouldn't necessarily use a Barlow and a 5. maybe a 12 millimeter eyepiece or a 10 millimeter eyepiece, Natosha, might be where you want to go with that. So just try it out and see what the views that you can. The best, clearest views that you can get with your telescope are really what you're going for, and trying to get as much magnification without losing some of that detail. And you can see some of the other features that are on there. Now remember, Mars is spinning on its axis as well, and so you will get different views at different days that you're looking at. Different nights will bring in different things. So seeing things like Valles Marineris, this long canyon, the deep, dark, largest canyon in the solar system. Olympus Mons is a very tricky one. I've never actually seen it through my telescope, but it appears as a small patch, also a little round patch. That's the highest volcano in the solar system, the largest volcano, Olympus Mons. In the entire solar system. Really impressive. You get dark highlands, windswept regions. These are the dark patches. This is something that would be more easily visible through a backyard telescopes. And of course, the Hellas Basin is basically a large, giant, dusty, sand dune filled region on Mars, and it appears as a very light colored blotch on the disk of Mars. And then the dark colored blotches are the highlands. The largest one you'll see through a backyard telescope is the Syrtis Major, and that is a very distinctive darker blotching on the surface. And there's other ones as well, but those are the things that you can see. You can actually see surface features on Mars. And of course, some of the stats on Mars. Mars is about a third the size of Earth, at 6,800 kilometers across, while Earth, you can see, is 12,700 kilometers across. You've got the highest mountain peak at 26,000 meters compared to 8,000 meters on Earth. 1 year on Mars, one trip around the sun for Mars is 687 days, which is, of course, 365 for Earth. How much would you weigh? If you weighed 80 kilograms here on Earth, you would weigh approximately 30 kilograms on Mars. It's just the gravity is a lot lighter, a third of what it is of Earth's. And of course, Earth has one moon, and Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, Fear and Panic, two small moons that you can actually see through backyard telescopes. Sometimes it's a tricky thing, but larger backyard telescopes, it's a great challenge for that by all means. So that's a lot of fun to be able to see all of these things through a backyard telescope. So if we move to seeing what you can see in the night sky this week, including Mars, where to find it, check this out. So let's start our tour in the early evening. As soon as darkness falls, you get to see, of course, Saturn and Jupiter. Here we go. And Saturn and Jupiter are heading more and more in the southwest, lower in the skies. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that Saturn and Jupiter are kind of moving over to the southwestern part of the sky? Well, that will happen more and more, and coming together, closer together too. Now, all this is going to culminate between Saturn and Jupiter. They will appear to get closer and closer over the coming weeks and months. And there's something really beautiful, a beautiful conjunction that will happen in late December. That's where this is all heading between Saturn and Jupiter. Much more I'll be talking about that in the coming months, closer to the time in December, to the Christmas holidays. That is going to be a gift for everyone, a celestial gift coming from Saturn and Jupiter to all skywatchers around the world. Something to keep an eye on. Just watch Saturn and Jupiter as they will come closer and closer together in the skies. So hello to everyone joining us from Argentina, from Cape Town, South Africa, Southwest Ontario. We've got people from all over the place. It's really beautiful. From Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia. Oh my goodness. You've got people everywhere. And Carol says the planets were shining last night with a crescent moon that came very late last night. Indeed, beautiful sights for everyone, wherever you are in the world. So Jupiter and Saturn pinning down the constellation Sagittarius in the southwestern sky. Do keep your eye out for that. no matter where you are, even like Wolfgang from Italy, if you're, or Graciela from Argentina. Keep watching the skies. It's incredible the things you can see with the planets right now dominating sky watching. So where is Mars? Well, if we switch over finally to the east, that is where you see Mars. Mars rises pretty much soon after darkness falls. You can see I've got it set now for just after the sun sets. So about a half hour after sunset, you'll see in the east Mars rising. If you have a very good view to the eastern horizon, this is how you'll see Mars very clearly. And then Mars will slowly rise every hour higher and higher in the skies. I'll just zoom out here, and you can see higher and higher in the skies. As Earth rotates on its axis, it will rise higher in the skies. It's in the constellation Pisces, the fish. You can see that there. And Mars really is going to be dominating the skies. And of course, with a telescope, if you zoom in, as I magically can do through my planetarium software, you'll start to see some features with Mars. Here's a good replication of what to expect through a backyard telescope. It'll be a small little disk, but it will have features on it. This is what's so cool about it, that Mars does have features. And just like on my globe here, as you can see, there are a lot of features. So on Mars, what you're going to be looking for is a tiny, one of my favorite, like I said, is one of these, this little feature down here is the southern polar cap of Mars. So this is what you want to look for, is this little white dot on in your field of view as you look at that. It's not very big, but this carbon dioxide ice field on the south polar cap of Mars is visible through small backyard telescopes. And you can see the dark markings as Mars rotates on its axis, right? You will see different features in your telescope. So that is something. So now if you don't have a telescope, of course, with the naked eye, Mars looks like a beautiful, brilliant orange star. And what's very cool, I think, for us to think about when we're looking at Mars, here I'm going to zoom out, back out to sort of a naked eye view of what you can see, is that color, that very distinctive color of Mars. And just remember that that color of Mars is due to the iron oxide rich dust that envelops the planet. So just remember that Mars is really just filled with iron oxide rich sand and dust that covers everything on Mars. It's a really dusty planet. And when the sunshine, that same sun that we have, shines on the red planet, that reflected light is shifted to the orange, red part of the spectrum. And we see that beautiful coloration, that distinctive coloration of the planet Mars. And you see that clearly with the naked eye. Just go out, there's nothing else that'll be shining like that, like Mars does. As you see here, there's nothing else that will be shining like that in the eastern and southern late night skies. So get out there, definitely go out. You've got to be able to see it. I want to say big hi to Cam in Saskatchewan. Michelle, you like my globe, don't you? Yes, I know, it's awesome. And you can get, I think Sky and Telescope magazine sells those if you're interested. Astronomy magazine, I think, also sells them. I got them from one of those. Christelle, bonjour from Marseille, France. Very nice of you to join us. From Lubbock, Texas, Sylvia, great to see you as well. All of you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy. I write for National Geographic. I'm their stargazing fellow online, and you can check out some of my work. Also, my book, if you're interested in delving into a little bit more, tasting a little bit more what the night sky has to offer. Great little book I have called The Backyard Guide to the Night Sky. It's available wherever books are sold. It's a good beginner's guide, really. It gives you a smorgasbord of stuff of what you can do in the hobby of astronomy, whether you're doing it with the naked eye, binoculars, or telescopes. It doesn't matter. There's something for everyone. And if you're just going to view for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, Get out there. It's amazing, the night sky. And any clear night is good. It doesn't matter if you're stuck in the city too. Even with a lot of light pollution, it doesn't matter. Mars is going to shine through, for instance, through all this light pollution. So everything that I talked about today, don't think that you have to be in the countryside, some dark location, drive for an hour out of the city. You don't need to do that with Mars. You can actually see lots of detail, even within city limits. I used to live in like a light polluted, infested downtown region, and I would go out on the rooftop of my apartment building and be able to see Mars. And I live in a city of over 1.5 million people, and it's incredible what you can do with a backyard telescope. And if with the naked eye, Mars is it just blows your mind to think that you're looking at a neighboring world that's about 61 million kilometers away from us. It takes light just under 4 minutes to reach your eye. So imagine looking at Mars like I have here on my software. This light has traveled for almost 4 minutes to reach your eye. It takes that long. With light traveling at speeds of 300,000 kilometers per second, it still takes a few minutes for that reflected sunlight off those deserts of Mars to reach your eye. This is what's so incredible, I think, is this whole idea of being able to time travel almost a few minutes when it's in case of Mars. Of course, if you're looking at deep sky things outside of our solar system, could be many light years of distance where you're looking back in time many years. I mean, most of the stars that you see at night, as I have here, all these different constellations, the average distance of most of these stars in the sky that you can see with the naked eye, just remember, it's about 75 light years away. That's the average distance. So that means that it takes, on average, 75 years for that light to reach your eye from most of these bright stars that you would see in a typical suburban sky, right? So it's a human lifetime that you're looking back in time. It's incredible. Sky watching, even just for 10, 15 minutes, can bring a lot of inner peace and serenity to yourself. It's a great way to just basically check in with yourself and take it de-stresses you from the day. It's something very, very important, I think, in these critical times that we're living, of course. I hope you got a few things out of today's show. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Mars and why it's so cool, why I'm so excited, and why there's legions of sky watchers, amateur astronomers, talking about this online, and you're seeing maybe in your social feeds pictures of Mars and talking about Mars, articles and all that. It's because this is really the best time to see Mars. It will be the best for the next 15 years. We won't get as good of a chance as we have right now of seeing Mars. I will put some links for all you sky watchers, all these star charts. I'll put links to places about the graphic that I showed you so that you can take a look at that as well in more detail. And I also have a friend who's going to be doing in Rome, Italy, at the Virtual Telescope Project, Gianluca Massi, who will be showing some views through a telescope as well. So maybe we'll take a peek into that tomorrow on Tuesday. If you're watching this later in the week, well, Mars is going to be good for the next few weeks. Really, right now it's at its peak, but the next week or so will be absolutely amazing. So any clear night, mid-October, into the third week of October will be fantastic. So just keep watching. All these sky charts are relevant in terms of where the planets are, including Mars. So get yourself out there, invade Mars for yourself. It's awesome. Amazing to think NASA is sending spacecrafts there that'll land in February. We're going to see some really cool new robotic missions arrive at Mars from different countries around the world. It's going to be neat. So we're living in really interesting times. I hope you stay safe and healthy wherever you are. I'm going to be reading through all your comments as I do every week. I love seeing you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are all my sky watching friends around the world. I know we haven't met personally, but I love that you come in here and we get a chance to talk, chat, and share our enthusiasm for the night sky, because it's awesome. And it's a shared heritage for everyone. It's all of ours. The night sky, we share it. Same moon, same Mars that I look at is the one that you're looking at, no matter where you are in the world. So with that, I want to thank you very much for spending a few moments of your day today. I hope you've got some clear skies coming up so you can watch some of these amazing views no matter where you are. And I'm going to be here same time, same place. If you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to The Night Sky Guy, whether it's on Facebook or on my YouTube channel or on Twitch, wherever you're watching. Subscribe, follow me, and you'll get notified for my next video. Same time, same place next week on 1 o'clock p.m. on all those channels. Until then, I wish all of you to stay safe and healthy. And of course, I wish all of you clear skies. Bye-bye.